chewing on gum, but
Gum.
took it.
Okay. Everyone, we are live. This today's Wednesday or Thursday. What's today's Colin?
Wednesday.
Kyle, this is already almost March.
Yeah, man. Next month will be 1 year, man, to 4 years that we've been rising up. You know,
Be 4 years already.
4 years of 2018, we've been rising up.
Rising up.
And look at all we've accomplished over the years. Look what's happened. Look at the dynamics, man.
Mm-hmm.
We first got on. People thought I was insane. They thought you were crazy. You know,
Still do.
they still do. But now they got to basically say, "Wow, in 4 years, you've been to how many times you've been to our content in 4 years? The last 4 years, Dinos, 20, 30 times. You know,
a lot. Yeah.
You know,
dang, that's a good question, Colin. I've been at least 20 times.
20 times, right? But before I got on your show, the notion was black people ain't got no money. You ain't got no passport. Y'all don't know nothing about Africa. Y'all go over there.
Hold on. Let me try my voice. Let me try my voice.
Yeah, you
black folks ain't got no money. Black folks ain't got no money. See, I did the research. I got the data. Black folks ain't got no money. Black folks ain't got. I got the research. I got the data.
Check this out. Every time I was in Liberia and I kept running out of data, I said, "Where's Yvette Cardell?" Right, Yvette Cardell. I need data, man. I kept everybody looking at me. What are you talking about? I need data. I got the data, right? Everybody looking at me.
Black folks ain't got no money. Black folks I do the research. I do the data.
And $25 to see Black Panther was out of the reach of black people in America. Remember that?
Black Panther.
$25.
The movie ticket cost $12. Black folks ain't got $12. Did the popcorn. See, black folks ain't got no Black Panther. $25 for the movie ticket, the concession stand. See, black folks can afford that.
Because they should give black people free tickets to see Black Panther. You know, yo, we've come a long ways, man.
Oh my God! And I'm not gonna lie, I was rocking. I have nothing against Tone Talks and Yvette Carnell. I was actually kind of. Like, I understood where they were coming from, but when they started that Black Panther stuff, I was like, "Oh my God!"
Yeah, see, what it is Dinos, right? They pivoted, right? They were talking about black people, African Americans need an identity. Okay, I get that, right?
Okay,
but
right.
But you cannot do that when you vote and your social clique is based on if you're black. You're like anytime you can accept Kamala Harris as black, right? Right. And the black person, see, we always say, like, we're still oppressed in America, right? Black is not a mindset, really. It's a skin color. We look at anybody that's black, right? Obama, right? When you really go back and look at it, this guy had nothing in common with us, you know? Absolutely nothing. Nothing in common with us. But we saw a black family up there, right? And it did not matter what we wanted Obama, you know? Obama. I was caught up. I mean, hey, look.
Me too. Listen, Colin. Listen, 2008.
Oh man, I love that.
I was selling insurance. I was pushing a little black Mustang. I pulled up to that pole. Listen.
Obama showed up at the Virginia Beach Amphitheater rally, man. I said, "This is the thing." All those black kids out there, Obama, selling Obama shot glasses, Obama shades.
Yeah. Hey, Colin, listen. True story, Colin. So I went. I didn't vote for nothing else. I just voted for Obama. Did my job. I left. Listen, that following day, this is when I was selling Medicare, Medicaid. I'll go to a lady's house to get her signed up with one of the Medicaid programs, and boy, she broke down. She was like, she just started crying.
Yeah.
The day after the election, she started crying.
I remember that time period. I was selling at the same time too, right? You go to black people's house, boy. They had the Obama was next to Jesus, white Jesus, John F. Kennedy, Nelson Mandela, and now new one, Barack Obama. They put Barack Obama with Martin Luther King, you know. But when his first, I'll be honest with you, his first 2 years weren't that bad, you know. I mean, who's going to argue against the cleaning up the Gulf spill? You know, who's going to argue against the stimulus, right? The second part of the stimulus, 700 stimulus spending, right? $700 billion. The thing is, we as a community, right? Before that, we were not organized to take advantage of anything. You
Right.
know, I think we are now because of social media. Because remember something, Dinos. Remember at the time, well, Barack Obama could never got elected in this social media climate. He never would have happened. You know,
I don't know. I mean, Carla,
if he
whoa, Carla, hold on, Carla. We voted for Biden. What you mean?
no back then, right? Back then, at that time, if you remember, right? It was I had the Ning site, right? I was on Ning, right? And we'll talk about politics and everything like that. But outside of certain sites like Ning and everything, there was no black politics being talked. Right there, everybody had MySpace was big, and Facebook wasn't even big at that time. You know, and Photo Bucket, and Facebook, they were just hi, how you doing? Even YouTube, there was nobody talking about politics on YouTube.
No.
No one started talking about politics on YouTube until like Obama's really his like almost into his second term. Then there are all these Facebook groups. That's when Umar Johnson appeared, and all these people, you know, appeared out of nowhere. Jason Black and all these people got on YouTube and everything. Before YouTube, right? There was nobody talking politics, right? And so I wrote a blog back then on my Google Blogspot, Colin Nation. You check it out, colonnation.blogspot.com on Google, and just colonnation.blogspot.com. And I wrote this thing called The Writing is on the Wall, right? And I predicted. I said the blog wall, the writing, the wall, the threads, the walls. I said the writing on the wall is going to tell everything. And I talked about how at the time black leaders were all against. It was during the campaign of Barack Obama, and all the black leaders in the mainstream media were for supporting Hillary, right? But online, Barack Obama, for the most part, had gotten a lot of black people support. Only people that was supporting Barack Obama were young white people, young liberals, and everything, and the hip hop group, hip hop crowd. And so people were like,
but that was Puff Daddy. Voter. No, that was Voter God was before Barack Obama, right?
And Ludacris and people like Ludacris, you know, and they were basically so it was typed on, it was online on blog walls. The mainstream Black America, right, the news media and everything like that, we're all for Hillary. It was like, oh, y'all had y'all little fun, but we gotta get to serious business. Like Tavis Smiley, that's what Tavis Smiley disappeared. You know, Tavis Smiley thought that he could derail Barack Obama with his TV show, but the writing on the wall was social media. And people are like, no, social media is not going to affect anything. I said it did. It got Barack Obama elected twice, you know.
Where is Tavis Smiley? I know ever since this case,
I'm gonna tell you right now. Tavis Smiley, when Barack Obama won, right, he had his last State of the Union conference, right?
Listen, Kyle, I went to the one with him and Cornel West in L.A.
Oh wow, oh yeah, and that was his poverty tour. It was poverty.
That was the poverty tour.
That's after the fact. Now, before Barack Obama was elected, Tavis was the president of Black America. You know, he was the president of Black America, right? And then if you couldn't get elected, you get nothing done in Black America without Tavis Smiley. Barack Obama, through social media and blogs and everything like that, overrode that. And Tavis Smiley said, okay, he wrote a book called Accountable, right? And I said, everybody was like, and I wrote a blog called Tavis the Smiling Coon, and Tavis saw that. Tavis saw that blog I wrote, right? And then after I wrote that blog, he said, "Look, man, Tavis said I'm gonna create my own network of bloggers, and you bloggers got to stop being and living in anonymity and come out and show your face and all stuff like that." He was mad because we were writing blogs against him. We'll call him coon. Let's call him all stuff like that, right? And so basically, he said, "You know something? Forget it." So he never had that. That was 2009. That was his last. January 2009 was his last Black State of the Union. And then what's the guy from Oklahoma, light skinned guy, Tom Joyner? He said, "Yeah, okay. Tavis, yeah," because Tavis was so angry, right? And I'll say he go like this. Even Tavis, man, he got to put a smile on his face. Well, then Tavis started smiling, right? And then I was like this. All of a sudden, did Tom Joyner read something about my blog, right? I said that only thing Bill Clinton did was play the saxophone, and then Tom Joyner repeated what I wrote in my blog. I was like, shit. This is getting powerful because these blogs, these people reading it, because nothing else out there competing. Now, I don't have that influence anymore because everybody's a blogger. There's tens of millions of YouTubers blogging. Before I was out there, I was the only one out there with an alternative viewpoint than what the mainstream narrative was. And that thing was, I said I was supporting Obama. You know, I was just basically saying, okay, I like this guy. He talks different and everything. I was tired of the same old. And one thing I was mad about the Clintons, right? I didn't like the fact they were taking advantage of Black people's votes. and stuff like that. So, but
taking advantage, or did black people allow themselves to take advantage?
well,
That's,
you
that's
got to
kind of where
understand
we're going
something.
to the topic today.
Okay. Let me say this right. I don't think you remember the election of 1992. You don't probably remember that, do you?
No, not really.
Okay, all right. I
Now
remember.
that Doyle and Bill Clinton.
No, that was George Bush, Clinton, and Ross Perot. You
I
know?
remember Ross Perot, right?
Okay. Now this is what happened during that year, right? David Duke, right? From '88 to '92, right? The Gulf War, first Gulf War, and everything. David Duke's popularity was starting to alarm a lot of black people, right?
Mm-hmm.
He basically almost won the governorship in Louisiana, right? And then when he didn't win, right, he basically said, "I'm going to run as a Republican." Do you know if it wasn't for Pat Buchanan, right, he would have been a competitor for the Republican nomination. Pat Buchanan got in there and said, "Look, I'm going to basically steal." He said he just went in there, just ran interference, right? And everybody called Pat a racist. So they took the racist focus off David Duke, right? Said Pat's a racist. Pat was like that. Yeah, we white people got to stand up for something. Wait a minute. But people call Pat a racist. But I understood what Pat Buchanan was doing. He was stealing the thunder away from David Duke, right? So the end result was Bush won, but David Duke would manage to get like 13% of the white population vote, and that alarmed a lot of people, right? And so basically, Black America was looking this time like, man, that's what white people really feel about us. David Duke was getting support in the North, California, and that was during the Rodney King era and everything. So along comes this guy from the South that could play the saxophone, and he hangs out with black people. He's fried chicken and hangs out with black people, right? And he seems cool and that he just basically, So black people gravitated towards Bill Clinton's swagger, like, oh, he's cool. He's a black president. Oh, he got baby mamas all over the place. So that's what was that. Bill Clinton rode in on that, that black thing, first black president, thing. And then right after Bill Clinton got elected, right, got in office, he invaded Haiti. People forget about that. He invaded Haiti. And deposed a dictator and put this guy Aristide back in power and everything. And Haiti's been a mess. Bill Clinton now apologized for what happened. Why? Because his Arkansas buddies came there and destroyed Haiti's rice industry. They all Arkansas farmers.
Yeah, they always apologize after the fact.
Yeah, after that, I'm sorry, I take responsibility.
Yeah, my bad. Yeah, my bad.
Yeah, my bad. Right, but I haven't forgot that. I haven't forgot that. But the bottom line is this, and I'll be honest with you, this is when we were all still Americanized, everything. So the bottom line is this: I triple dare them to try to bring David Duke in this volatile time where white people are scared, right? They're scared. They see these Pan-African movements growing, right? And they're scared, right? They're going to make sure that any sort of white person that's racist and everything is buried, right? Not because they love us so much, because they don't want to trigger a race war in this country, and that's what's brewing right now. See, the bottom line is this: they only keep black people in control by dangling the American dream in front of us. Once we say we don't want America anymore, you see how serious this is. We start to say we got to have an Africa plan and stuff like that, and we don't care about America anymore. Right now. They have nothing to bargain with us with. So therefore, now they're going to bring the ADOS, FBA, and all these other people out there to whip us back in the line, whip us back to the Democratic plantation, whip us back into the American mediocrity, American quagmire going nowhere, right? And you ask these people who say America's the end game, what do you see in 20 years? Well, no. They see nothing. Okay, well, black immigrants are coming over here and grabbing the bag, right? You just said you're just going to hunker down. You're not going to get nothing. You're not going to get any tangibles or anything like that. Nothing's going to change. Nothing's going to change for black people politically, So other black people who are making it in America, it's rarely do you see successful black people talk about politics in America. Really, you never go up to a group of black people eating in a fine restaurant that got businesses. I talked to some brothers today, man, in a cigar lounge. And they're like, yeah, all three of them were contractors making $500,000 a year. They're sitting there chilling and everything like that. Everything. And you can't even bring up politics to them. They'll be like, yeah, Trump. Some like, I hate Trump. Some like, I wish Trump was back and everything. But that's as far as it goes. They're vital. The idea that putting somebody in office is going to make a difference in life does not exist in mainstream Black America. It only exists in these so-called internet spaces, right? The majority of black people realize you got to get the bag. You got to get yourself. You got to make your money. You got to get your education. Nothing's going to change. That's what we've been taught all the time. We got to be twice as hard, work twice as hard to get anything in America and everything like that. So that's what's going on. But and now we got to go to the topic.
Yeah, everybody, hit that like button as you come to the chat room again. Please hit the like button. All right, hit that like button. It helps with the algorithm or whatever, the YouTube algorithm. So hit that like button. Also share, subscribe if you're not subscribed. Tour Sierra Leone. We're rolling in April. If you're interested, hit me up for details. Also Nigeria in August. If you're interested in rolling to Nigeria with us in August, let me know. Site is, man, the site's going to be done this month. Okay, it's going to be done this month. All right, finally. What else we have here? That's it. Topic is Black America responsible for its own suffering. So this is where the comment comes from. This is where the topic comes from. So I was on Facebook today. They were talking about the Brian Flores situation. You know, I suggested, okay, listen, how about just separate and start your own league? And here came the, oh, we can't. And then somebody responded. Let me read what this person responded. Hold on one second. Let me pull this up real quick. Too many tap dancers, too many who are unwilling to sacrifice, too many who don't understand ownership, too many who would rather beg from a table like a dog rather than build their own. Black folks oppress themselves at this point.
Yep, exactly. And also, you saw that this weekend with the Super Bowl. Everybody's celebrating.
Yeah, but okay, let me interject. I thought we were boycotting, the slavery-like conditions.
Bro,
these millionaires are slaves. I thought we were boycotting because the millionaires were slaves.
Dinos, remember I told you I had a PhD in what?
Negroology.
Right. PhD in Negroology, right? Black people are African Americans, right? I know a lot of people. You think like Africans are playing games? They're not playing games. Africans are not playing games. They understand the power of numbers. They understand sovereignty and stuff like that. You see, with the 200 librarians are ecstatic about 200 years of being a sovereign nation. They may not have what you have in America, but they got their freedom. Ain't no white person can tell them what they do in their own country. So the bottom line, 200 years of something like Ghanaians told African American group years ago. He told Cornel West, said, "Well, we're doing, we're gonna have a country when it's done. It may take us a while, but you guys are gonna still be fighting for civil rights and somebody else in a majority white country, right?" And so the so-called boycott, like you played on your video, Jay-Z was like, "Oh, this is what Colin Kaepernick." It's not about Colin Kaepernick, So basically, give Jay-Z part ownership of a team, and all is good. The same thing played out years ago. I don't think you remember in 1996. The Texaco situation, it was right after the Main Man March. Okay, let me. I told the story before, but let's give people a little history lesson, right? 1996, right? This is like a few months after the Million Man March, right? And everything's perception, right? That's why you think they hire. Where do you think all these black mouthpieces like Jonathan Capehart and all these people came from? White people realize we don't know nothing about Black America, so we got to get spies and people out there to understand what's going on, to give the white public a narrative of what's going on in Black America, right? It wasn't like this before. So after the Million Man March, right, when a million black men converged on Washington D.C., they're like, oh my God, they're united, whatever, right? So this is what happened, right? There was a Denny's situation, right? The Denny's situation where black people had a lawsuit where they weren't getting served, whatever. And Denny's eventually capitulated. Some black people got ownership, or franchise ownership, right? And then Jay Leno made a joke, right? He said, there was some missing tigers thing they found. He goes, oh yeah, they were found in Denny's waiting on a cheeseburger, but because they were from Africa, they didn't get served. It was a joke, that was back then. That was 90s humor. You probably don't remember that, right? Anyway, the Texaco situation was this. The Texaco, these white people who didn't get promoted, whatever like that, there was this big war going on in Texaco Oil Company, right? Franchises all over the country and everything. Texas. You don't see Texaco around anymore. Texas Oil Company, Texaco, right?
They got a couple here in Atlanta, gas station.
I don't see them here. We had one here. I think they all went to Citco, and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And like that. Anyway, there was at a board meeting. This guy secretly recorded a board meeting, right, where the black people that were in the corporation, right, and they were never getting promoted and everything. And so there was one executive said, yeah, we got to worry about those black jelly beans stuck at the bottom of the bag, right? Talking about black people, right? And all of a sudden it leaked out, right?
I
And then
call somebody in the chat room saying right. You be
yeah,
saying right all the time. Go ahead.
yeah. Say people say he's old school. He probably more like old school. He probably remembers what I'm talking about. See, I don't tell people no lies on fairy tales. I don't tell them no anybody that I'm Dutch or Olmec or anything like that. What you hear from the college Genesis is the real thing. I tell nothing. I stand on the truth. Everything I tell you is the truth, right? It may take 4 years of me coming on here to get it all out, but eventually the truth will reveal itself.
Okay,
Anyway,
so finish the story. Black jelly
okay.
beans on the bottom of the
Anyway,
tag.
this was a black lady and a couple of black people, right, had a class action lawsuit, right, saying like a discrimination. And then, oh my God, man, they said we're gonna. All of a sudden, there was a national call to boycott Texaco, right? And I remember in Virginia, Texaco owners like, we love y'all Negroes and whatnot. This ain't showing, go take an ads in the paper, please don't boycott us and everything like that. Please don't boycott us. And some black were like, I ain't going to Texaco. I mean, it was nationwide. Texaco was stocks were tanking, everything like that, right? Stocks were tanking, everything like that, right? And so they say, look, man, this is I'll say, no, say, no, say, well, what do you guys want? Nobody said we want nothing. We just wanted revenge. We just want to flex our muscle one time. We're gonna make an example out of Texaco, right? And they said, well, we gotta stop this, right? So guess what? They did the old trick. They brought in Jesse Jackson from the Rainbow Coalition, right? The same way the NFL brought in Jay-Z and now Al Sharpton, They brought in Al Sharpton of National Action Network, right? And then all of a sudden, then they basically said, okay, we got to start negotiating. And nobody appointed Jesse Jackson or Al Sharpton to negotiate. It was a grassroots thing. We're going to boycott Texaco. That's it. We're going to put them out of business. These white guys, tall black jelly beans, whatever, like they're going to mock us and whatnot. This and we're not going to. So anyway, they brought in Jesse Jackson, Al Sharpton, everything. And then they reached a settlement, a $2 million settlement to the plaintiffs, right? And then once they reached a settlement, right, Jesse Jackson got his payoff. The National Action Network collected some money, right? And then they began to say, look, okay, the boycott's over because we reached the thing. It's time to move on and heal and all the stuff like that. So black people who had all this power and energy were like, it just disappeared because everybody say, oh, yeah, Jesse now said it's over. The people got this thing. Let's move on. Right. And so the bottom line is, I think on the table was in the waning thing, they want to give some black people some franchises. I think that might have happened. 1 or 2 black people got a couple of Texaco franchise gas stations, whatever. I think that happened, But the whole thing was black people, like at first, like we wanted to boycott. We wanted to destroy Texaco. That's it. We didn't want no concession. We didn't care about no plaintiff. We didn't care about any of that stuff. We want to boycott. And so what happened was, after that, people start saying, something, we don't have any control over our narrative because we trusted people like Al Sharpton and everybody to work in our best behalf, and it doesn't happen. And we forget.
And listen, it's still going on today with Tamika Mallory, Black Lives Matter.
Exactly.
Because Tamir Rice's mom called it out.
Right.
Mike Brown's mom called it out. So it's still going on.
Right. And also at the time, right, a few years before that, I don't know if you remember Yusuf Hawkins case in New York City.
I remember.
He got killed by a Brooklyn riot, right? And then what happened was an election. I was like 1989, right? And all of a sudden, Jesse Jackson came there, right, and said to Moses Stewart, Yusuf Hawkins' stepfather, right? He said, yo, look, you got to play your cards right. Your son may have just gotten the first black mayor elected in New York City. And he told Jesse Jackson, I don't give a goddamn about no friggin' being mayor. I want justice for my son. He's like, yeah, but the bigger picture is Dinkins might become mayor of New York. So you have a black overclass that basically is out for itself, right? They rule over black America, right? They have no real ties to the community, right? They play on black people's victimization, our pain, our suffering and everything to grab the bag for themselves and walk off with it and take their kids and everybody and send them kids to the best schools, the best colleges and everything, right? While the community never goes in. So don't blame, I don't want to hear nothing about gentrification anymore because the bottom line is this, the black so-called elite, whoever these people are, right? They'll be in on it too. You'd be surprised how many people in the black elite are involved in the drug trade and some stuff that goes on in our community, They hang in the same circles as they use. It's no thing that when you see 50 Cent and all these people sitting there with black politicians and everything, it should be a separation. There should always be a separation between our political class and these so-called entertainers.
Hey, Kyler, what do you think of? So the mayor of New York wants to ban drill music. So he had a sit down with all the rappers.
That was stupid. That was stupid. That was stupid. That was stupid. You know, because they're gonna say whatever they're gonna say, and then they're gonna like this. Look, the bottom. I know this about black people, right? They will do the right thing if you stand on your square and say, no, this stuff is destroying our culture and everything. I think the bottom line is this: if you're gonna get a contract and everything, you get gunned down on an intersection. You know, we have to change our culture. There's so many black people who don't want to change. They don't want anything. They don't want education. They don't want to build anything and everything. They just want the quick, fast, and the money. And we worship people with money and everything like that. And so this is who we are in 2022. And so therefore, yes, we are absolutely responsible for what's going on in our community. And then the same thing. Then after we make all these mistakes, right? We don't want to take any responsibility. Because what is nationhood? What is nationhood all about? The ultimate responsibility, right? Black people in America don't want any part of nationhood, right? They don't want any part of nationhood. They want to put the responsibility on somebody else. Even to some people who go to the continent, right? Instead of saying, you know something, I'm gonna come over there with a travel health insurance for travel, right? I'm gonna go over there. If I die, I'm gonna make sure I have a burial policy. I'm gonna make sure I have all that. I'm gonna have health care. I'm gonna be able to take care of myself and not burden the government of Ghana and Nigeria and everything like that. You know, I'm going to be responsible. I'm going to obey the laws of this country and everything. We go over there like, oh yeah, y'all owe us land, y'all owe us this, and blah 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 blah. And this is the problem with the so-called African American mind. Not all black people, African Americans, right? But the loudest, the voice of the narrative of African Americans. There's two different things. It's always been like this, Dinos. We've been fighting this for 400 years, right? It's who we are and what we're perceived to be, right? Black people, African Americans are the most hardest working people in the world. You know, we're the only group of people that will work a job for 30 years and get no promotion and say, thank you, boss, and retire.
You say thank you. Oh, man.
Yeah,
Colin, tell me about it.
Do that. White people,
oh, man.
Come and
oh my God, tell me about it.
Colin,
I'm looking because I know exactly what you're talking about, and I remember growing up, especially like right when I graduated college. You know, that's when a lot of my family members and my friends, their mothers and fathers are starting to retire. Same job, 30 straight years. I'm like, how the hell do you do that? How do you work a job for 30 years?
30, I'm retired. It's not I'm retired. You know, and the bottom line, you gave the white man 30 years of your life, whatever. I mean, I'm not going to begrudge them, right? That's the people that have no choices. But I know this, right? When you see that white guy has retired, right? Look at his retirement package, right? And what he's living on in retirement. And look where the black man is, you know? The white guy down the ship right here in Virginia and Maryland, everything. This is the largest shipyards in the world, right? North Shipco, the largest shipyard in the world, right here. The majority of workers same thing in the NFL, the majority of workers down there are black, African Americans, right? African Americans, not immigrants, African Americans, right? The bottom line is this: when you talk to white guys who work down there, they're grandfathered in with the Navy contract. The Navy has their ships built there and repaired and cleaned everything. There are some, I'm like, this was like, let's say it's 17 years ago, 2005, whatever like that, right? I'm talking as a reference when I actually talk about this to people, right? Guy said, yeah, man, I make like $60 an hour, right? I get overtime, everything. I got this package right here. I got a vacation benefit and everything like that. You know, this guy sitting in the bar, right? I own like this, boom, boom, boom. I got a boat, house, whatever like that, right? You work down the shipyard, right? You got a black guys down there who are welding, maybe electricians and everything, because he is on some his grandfather in because his father was an admiral in the Navy and everything, and he's on some special thing. His contract, his employment contract is different than that's how they do. Okay, we'll let the black man come down here, right? But we're gonna protect ourselves, right? If there's time for layoffs, the black people are first to go. You know, the black man's hours are cut. We're gonna cut this over. We got work stoppage, you like that, you know. The white guys, their jobs are seen as vital and essential. You know, we can't cut them. But thing. So we've done this for generations, right? Generations. That's why it seems like the black community thing. Now people say, "What's wrong with that?" It's simple. It's simple. And I've seen this, right? I've seen this with my own eyes. The young black kids from the millennials and the Generation X, right, didn't want to follow in their dad's footsteps, right? They, even though that's a good job, they saw it as a dead end job, right? Here's the problem. Let me tell you where the conflict between African Americans and immigrants come in, right?
Hey, Kyle, let's get back on subject. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Well, I just want to say just one thing, Dinos, right? Here's a conflict.
Go ahead.
The black people are like, okay, we want to move to the next level, right? And we know there is no next level, right? The next level means you got to take with white people, right? You either take what we give you, right, or that's it. So if you don't do that, right, we're gonna make sure that these other immigrants, Mexicans, and everything, replace you for the job you don't want. So this is what I'm saying. With black people in America, right? Wouldn't the thing be the next step? If you want to take the next step, wouldn't the next step be nation building, right? Because you're not going to take the white person's job. That's not going to happen.
Exactly.
That's not going to happen, right? And so the jobs they leave you, we just don't want anymore. We don't want to work 30 years, right, in the shipyard and everything like that, just for a retirement check, right? We want the bag. We want the life, the American dream. We want that stuff like that. It's because that American dream is not there for us in the numbers we have. Because in order for you to, if you don't want to build your own economy, infrastructure, everything, right, that means the white man has to share what his excess is with you, and that's not going to happen, right? And then when you complain about it, say, okay, if you don't want to do that job, we tell you go do at shipyard and everything. We're gonna get the Mexicans, the Guatemalans to replace you, and that's what's happening. Didn't they have it down in Georgia where they found a factory, a chicken farm, whatever like that, where Mexicans are down there working for nothing? Somewhere down there they said it was slavery or something like that. Somewhere down in Georgia, in Savannah, there was these chicken processing plants and everything. There was the Mexicans down there. Black people do those jobs, but they just don't want to do them no more. So that's really what the problem is. That's what the really problem is. And so, who's responsible for this, Dinos? Right? Who's responsible for this? Right? See, nobody ever told us, right? We were so happy to get a good job, right? The 70s was a good time. You had a job for the first time. You could buy a house and everything like that, right? But the thing is, though, what do? People don't want to stay stagnant. Do you want your son to do what you did, or you want your son to do better?
Be better.
Right. Same thing with black people. We want our sons and their daughters to do better. But the whole thing is there's not that infrastructure set up for them to do better yet. And that's why a lot of us, our youth, unfortunately, are going into the wrong thing. They're like this. They're like, I want to make a rap record. I want to sell drugs. I want to do all stuff like that, And so we have this toxic, self-destructive culture right now because nobody wants to go back to the basics of living a normal Black American life. That's it in a nutshell. That is right there in a nutshell. Nobody wants to do what it is anymore. And like I said, we put it out there years ago. I saw this coming years ago. I said, well, maybe we should look globally. Globally. You saw Maynard Jackson, right? You know the story of Maynard Jackson, right? In Atlanta, right? Mm-hmm. When they built the airport and stuff like that. And he said, look, he was trying to get, he wants to build a Black middle class and everything like that. He said he needs jobs. He needs investments, right? The white companies said, no, no, we're not going to do it. Even the Japanese companies, someone like would not locate their factories where in the proximity with large numbers of blacks. So we'll go with large numbers of whites. That's what it was. It was redlining going on in placement of factories in America. People it was not just redlining housing. It was redlining. Okay, this area is a lot of blacks, whatnot. Don't go here. Right. So what he did was he invited.
Yeah, you just said something. So now I realize why, like in a lot of these Black communities, all these old factories and warehouses are here.
Yeah.
That are completely empty. Like this used to be the Coke plant. This used to be this plant. And they moved them all to the suburbs.
Suburbs, right? Okay. That's why when Barack Obama said that, we're gonna have people to incentive. I look at these white guys, and if you're a white guy, right, you got operations to make a lot of money and everything. Do you want to locate that in Detroit, in the hood, where you are forced to be around black people and there's stuff like that? Or would you rather go to the suburbs where you got a nice office and everything, you go to home and you're around white people all the time? You may have one or two blacks here and there. You see what I mean is? So the areas where black people populated, right, it's a red line. We don't want to go there. We don't invest there. Not because like that it's profitable. They could probably make more money in the black community because you pay them lower. But a lot of times, white people, they don't want to put their life, they don't want to deal with black people, right? Unless they absolutely have to. In sports and entertainment, they have to deal with you because you're the entertainment. But when they don't have to deal with you, right, they won't. Then no one's going to build a factory in a black area out of the goodness of their heart. They're not going to do it. So what Maynard Jackson did was, he says, since I know the white people are prejudiced in America, they're not going to locate factories here and like that. He went overseas. He got Swedish companies, Norwegian companies, and everything like that. He said, look, we got a new airport and everything. They don't know the racial dynamics in America, right? And so Atlanta was booming. They said, wow, he created a miracle in Atlanta. You know, he went outside of America, got foreign countries. He built the airport, right? And now foreign businesses, banks, everything can have a bank. And he built Atlanta, you know, and Black America built is grateful for that because Atlanta has a thriving Black community to this day, for the most part. But like I said, that is not enough. You know, that's not enough. We need people to keep further doing it. Eventually, we're gonna have to start building our own. You know, because that's just what it is. So there's, like I said, it's redlining in Black America right there. You know, if you want a Black person, you want a job, you got to move to where the white people are. As simple as that. So people talk, we got to rebuild the hood, time to buy back the hood. How you gonna buy back someplace? Ain't no jobs. That's the part I don't understand, right, Dinos? I'm missing something. They said we're gonna rebuild the hood, but you're like Gary, Indiana. Right now, Gary, Indiana, they say the worst city in America.
So we were talking about Gary the other day, me and a friend of mine, and Gary. I guess the steel mills are in Gary.
They're still there,
but they're empty.
Yeah, but yet we import steel from China, right? We import the first black I don't want to put those on Bill Clinton, starting with Ronald Reagan and the McKinsey Group. You study the McKinsey Group, right? They said that we could save billions of dollars, right? Because the dollar's too high, right? By making steel, importing steel from China, then we can because we're gonna say steel mills, right? The Black people there had Black jobs. Let's put it like this. Let's create a new term. There's Black jobs and there's white jobs, right? The white jobs in the steel industry, these guys back in the 70s were making $65 an hour or stuff like that, and they have Cadillac pension plans, everything like that. Well, the Black community with steel mills were okay. They got some retired. I know some people, I retired, but the bottom line is this, right? If it was 99, if all the work was done by Black people at the Black people pay scale, whatever like that, it'll still be there. They cannot afford to keep up the paying the white people what they pay, because if you don't employ white people, right, there's no justification for it. They're not going to keep a steel mill to keep Black people employed. Once the white people say, you know something, we're retiring and everything like that, and we're moving on and everything, they say, okay, it's time to shut it down. They're not going to re-educate and retrain Black people to do what the white do. They're like, we're not going to pay Black people. We're never going to pay Black people what we pay white people. So it's better to take out losses and go and ship these factories to Mexico or to China, you know? And again, the Black community is blamed, right? Right. That right there is something we can't control, right? That's something we can't control. We should have foresaw that, right? Which we didn't, right? That's what we're responsible for. We didn't foresee this, right? But the thing is, though, when people say, well, why is the Black community so ravaged? We don't control the economic or the infrastructure or the policies that employ us and everything like that. We don't control that. But we vote for, we put the people in power to screw us, so like Flint, Michigan, and stuff like that, and stuff like that. We put people in power that do us by wrong, but we don't have any ability to say, this is what we want, you better build this. If that factory is not there, you're not getting our vote. You know, we don't have that power. We don't have that willpower. Why? Because
but we don't want the power.
No, we don't know, because all they have to do is call racism. You know, Donald Trump said, look, I'll solve the problem. Let's build a factory in Gary. They'll say Donald Trump's a racist, right? Mm-hmm. And now go out the door. So that's what we are as a culture, as a community. We're emotional and we're not serious, right? We don't have people that are really serious on the ground, right? Serious on the ground, seriously negotiating for us and seriously building anything for us. As everything is about emotion and everything. When a presidential election come up, right? It's not about what you can build, right? It's like, what do you like? A dinner date or Netflix and chill? Remember that?
Hey, Carlo, somebody's asking what was Donald Trump? What is he? What is he?
A racist, racism. Al Sharpton. There's plenty of racism to fight. As long as it's racism,
Pity of what? Pity of what?
racism. You know, we got to deal with racism. I'll always have a job on MSNBC because racism is out of control.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we did. That's what we're dealing with. Dealing with a bunch of freaking clowns, a bunch of clowns, deadly clowns, right? The thing is, Dinos, is this, right? Every culture has gestures, buffoons, clowns, and showmen and just idiots and everything like that, right? We expect that, right? But we white people got it good, right? Because they choose who's going to be in front of us, leading us, right? They choose our jesters, our clowns, our fools, our buffoons, our entertainers, and all these people to lead us. And they make all the decisions and everything like that. Yeah, man, I just did a fist bump. They show a picture. I'm fist bumping Jay-Z. Yeah, what I'm saying? It's all good and everything. Jay-Z and Beyonce, oh, it's all good in the hood, man. You got the president of the NFL out there with Meek Mills. Like, oh, wow. See, this is, like I said, they will do any sort of trick. And the black people, they'll say, Colin, you shut up. We've arrived. You see them them rich white men.
You got to sit at the table. Look at Jay. You got to sit at the table there. Yeah.
And the bottom line, remember, I say you're sitting there getting crumbs from the white man's tables, the ones that are building a table for yourself. Instead of building your own league, building whatever you want to build, you want to see a seat at the table. We got to get more black representation. Oh, there's not a black in the movie Hunger Games. We need black people in the Hunger Games, It's like this. This is the mentality. This is the mentality. This is the mentality of black America. Black America. And so therefore we have nobody to blame but ourselves, right? And then when you dare talk about building something outside of America, they think you're crazy. So in other words, basically you're gonna keep begging white people for everything. You're not gonna build anything. And now you're going to hold the black vote hostage for a so-called reparations check, which is never going to happen. So the whole thing is this. Right now, all these people that voted for Biden, Diane, they're in your chat, I love your comment section. They're trying to debunk what you said about the crack pipe, And say that, like, this is the real.
Well, see, it's not real. It was really indirectly. It's not really indirectly.
Yeah, but let me put it down. Let's see who in these clowns in the chat right now. Joe Biden is his son Hunter is a crackhead. So if his son could be a crackhead, your son and daughter could be a crackhead. Joe Biden gave black people crack pipes.
But Carl, let me ask you: why aren't black people going after Hunter Biden the way they were going after Donald Trump Jr.?
Because the bottom line is he has a D next to his name. And like I told you the other day, right? I said, look, black people, let me listen to you. My brothers and sisters, African Americans, I love you, right? But it used to be a time we used to resent white people feeding off us and stuff like that, getting a free ride. The white people, when you go out there and vote, right, get this, their kids are going to benefit. Their kids can be racist, whatever like that, They're getting a free ride off of your vote and everything, and you're getting nothing in return. So when they give you all this stuff like that, the most dangerous thing in the world is a so-called white liberal. I swear, Malcolm X said that. The most dangerous thing in the world is a white liberal. I thought about this today, man, on the way to the office. Right? I said, you know how the white liberal is so dangerous? It's because he knows he has no power by himself, right? And what he does is this. He goes to disenfranchised people who are hurting and tries to be their white savior and tell them that, oh, yeah, I understand your race. It's not because he's trying to solve your problem. It's one set of white people trying to replace another set of white people with power. The white people that became before him, the Rockefellers, they have power. They built something, right? The liberal, tell me what Bernie Sanders ever built, right? To justify his power, justifies the amount of power. He has nothing. So they get power by rabble rousing, to mob you up, to get you like that. So therefore, you put them in positions of power, and they basically live the good life at your expense. They don't want to ever see you delivered. Even when black people are making progress, they ignore it. Why? Because they want to make you seem like all the time. Why do you think you got black people who are in the middle class, right? The black vote should be like the Mexican vote, right? 50-50. There's black people who are middle class. There's black people who are working class. And black people poor, right? The vote should go like 50-50, not just based on economic lines, but on cultural lines, everything like that. 99% of the black vote, right, is going to the party that advocates for social justice, right? That basically says that, okay, even though I'm making it, right, I'm going to make a mockery out of my own success by basically saying that I didn't succeed. And so that's what you have in Black America. We have Black America. And so we give our votes away to people. Yeah, like I said, did you really think Joe Biden was going to have a black press secretary? Did you really believe that Joe Biden, anything was going to happen as far as reparations and everything? Did you really think that?
Listen, Colin, George Floyd bill is not going to happen. Voters' right reform is not going to happen. In fact, I'm going to tell you, with all this crime going on in our community, Colin, I won't be surprised if Crime Bill 2.0 comes rolling down the pipeline.
Yeah, that's what's coming next, right? Bottom line, crime is out of control, right? Crime is out of control because they spent the last 2 years telling black people you're
defund the police, defund the police,
and you're oppressed and all stuff like that. So you can go into Walgreens and just go out with the bag of goods and everything because you're an oppressed minority and stuff like that. And so the bottom line is, then after the election happened, they didn't expect this, that people were still doing that. They'll say also, so what's happened between 2020 and 2021? Oh, Joe Biden elected. So now, okay, everybody calm down. No, you whipped people up into a frenzy. You told people it was okay to steal flat screen TVs, burn down buildings and everything like that, right? And wreck their communities. And so therefore now you're like, okay, well, what do we do about this crime? What do we do about this crime? Nobody has an answer. You see that idiot Michael Rappaport, right? You see his video? Well, he's in Manhattan talking about,
I didn't see the video, but he was recording somebody like stealing something.
He said, man, what are y'all doing? I said, you spent the whole 2020 telling people, egging people on, telling people that it's okay to do all this stuff. Now it inconveniences you because you can't go to Rite Aid and get some prescriptions for your mother, whatever, because they stole all the shit, And so therefore, this is what happens. And what gets me is that what they're doing is basically taking away the legitimate struggle that we have, the legitimate thing I have to basically see, like, look at these black people. They're out here committing crimes or like that, And what's going to happen right now is a backlash. That's what you saw in the Virginia election, right? As a backlash. The backlash. The fun's over. You didn't gain anything, right? The white liberals gained everything. They got power. They got what they want. AOC got DACA. They got open borders for their own kind, the Mexicans and everything like that. They got everything they want. The black community basically gave everybody on the left everything they want. The LGBTQ. Now a grown man can self-identify as a 12-year-old girl and compete in the Olympics against her or school sports. All these weirdos got their bag, but the black man in America and the black woman in America got nothing, And they got Black Lives Matter walked off with millions of dollars and everything. And people are like, oh, sit there. I was like, sit there with your dumb faces, your dumbfounded faces, like that. Because right now, Dinos, the black people who supported Biden, they're very, very quiet. The riding for Biden crew is very, very quiet. And I don't want to have any sympathy for these people. That's why that dude.
One second, guys. Make sure you hit that like button again. Please hit the like button. Please hit the like button. Again, links in the chat room. If you want to call in, click on the link and you can call in.
Talk about this black critic guy. He's going around the internet talking about I did him so wrong on that one show. Mm-hmm. What's going on, Experience Liberia? How's it going, brother? Take a break.
You got to make yourself.
Tell me about Liberia.
Hey, what's going on, guys? How you doing?
How you doing, brother?
Good. How are you?
Okay. Hey, y'all make some valid points, and I agree with everything that you're saying. I don't know if my sister, this is my first time getting on here.
You got to turn off the replay on your end. You got to turn off the replay, bro.
So how do I do that?
mute your YouTube that's playing. Mute the playback. Your YouTube. Mute the playback. Not mute yourself. Mute the playback.
Mute your YouTube that's playing. Mute the playback.
Okay.
Go on YouTube, right? Go on YouTube.
Yeah, that's what I'm at. That's what I'm at.
Are you in the StreamYard? Shut down the YouTube video thing.
There you go. All right, I got it now.
Okay.
Is it
Okay,
good?
go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm saying you guys make some valid points, man. And the way I look at it is that we have been going through this game that they've been playing with us for so long, you know. And to me, in my personal opinion, man, when we were able to be desegregated, I think that was the worst move that we ever did because we lost value in self as a whole, as Black people as a whole. But when they see, when they open up the doors for us to go in, it's like we think that their whole world is better. And that's the facade that they have played us. And we don't understand that they have to attach themselves to us. We are the glue to push everything that's going on in this system. You look at it through the entertainment, through the music industry, everything they done stole, they take it from us, and we constantly give it to them. You know, I retired from the military, man, and for me being in there, I have been under some guys who didn't know their job, but they got promotions off of my back until I got wise enough to know and say, you know what, you're in charge. You tell me what you want me to do. I stopped playing the game. And once you realize that the surroundings that you're in and how they move, you can make better decisions for yourself and for your family. Because once again, it's 2022 and we still dealing with the same thing that my mom, my grandparents dealt with, and my mom, she marched with Dr. King, all of that. But what has it gotten us? And when I tell them this, they look at me like I'm an oddball. It's like, how can you look at me like an oddball? It's literally, what is going on? Where is the help at? The fake politicians that we put in there, they're not concerned about what's going on in our community. They can stop that. You understand? I was raised in Chicago, went back down south, and I see it's no difference. They just mask themselves well. And we try so hard to try to fit in that we're destroying our own selves.
Mm-hmm.
They have never wanted us to be a part of the system. The system was designed for us to keep it pushing and them to stay on top, and whatever crumbs they give us, we should accept that.
Exactly. That's why,
It's
let me
crazy.
say something, brother. You guys give it to these rappers and their young people. They don't want the crumbs anymore, you know? We settle for crumbs and everything. That's what the white man is. That's why the Black women don't want us no more. We want that crumb. I'm gonna work that. But the Black women like, look, there's got to be something better out there. You know, you're not living up to your full potential. And that's why we talk about an Africa plan, you know, and building Africa in the future and Africa, because that's our full potential. Then things will start changing for us. But if you think you're just going to go by in their system, like you said, you work at a job. I see so many Black men, right? They work at a job, right? As long as they don't ruffle feathers, they'll have a job, right? But that white boy's going to come on that job, right? Play golf with the owner or whatever like that. And next thing you know, he's over them. He's over them, you know. He's over there. And Black people don't question it. Why? Because you don't want to be seen like an uppity. This is how they test your uppityness, right? The boss will come around and whatnot, and you better make sure you have the scores to the last night's football game, right? Because he wanted to make sure that the only thing on your mind is football, basketball, and baseball, whatever like that. He'll say, yo, what's going on? What's the score? Oh, yeah, man, that game, man, we almost run away. Now, if you say something like, nah, I was reading a book last night, guess what? You were on your way out the door. Because they're like, yo, we got a rebel rouser here. If you ain't shucking and jiving, and that kills a lot of Black men's spirit. They're around the job, putting on a nice face and everything like that, right? You know, to shuck it and jive. People have no idea what it's like to be a Black man in America and just try to live a normal, decent life. People always judge us, right? People always judge us like that. But my father had to deal with it, right? You know, he had to come home one night and he's a master chemist and everything. He never got the really promotion he deserved and everything like that, you know. And his bonus his Christmas bonus at the end of the year wasn't what the guy that was above him when he did all the work and everything. And this guy above him, right? got all the nice vacations and everything like that. But the bottom line, we're just supposed to be satisfied that we are. They took so pride in the fact that my father had a family, and he was able to pay a mortgage and had a nice house in a nice neighborhood. Right, that's all you need to be satisfied with. Don't ask for anything else. Don't ask for corporate stock or shares in the company and everything like that. That's not a place for you in America. And the bottom line is we could not put that on our sons and our next generations because they didn't want it. They want something better. So we was always in a catch-22 and a quagmire in America. And this is why when people come here and they try to judge us, right? Oh, you should have did this. You have no idea what that is. Because I want to see anybody that's 45 million strong, right, take something away from white America and see what happens, See what happens. You saw what they did to the Chinese during the railways. They massacred them in the West, They massacred the West. We stood toe to toe against these white people and everything on the unions and everything like that, right? And we made it. There's no other people of color in the workforce as large numbers of black in the industrial sector of America. It's all black African Americans. Because the other groups of people, Mexicans, give him 5 years. He's basically saved them up money. He went back to Mexico, He's opened up a bodega. He's doing like that. Only the African Americans will do 30, 40 years at a job, and stuff like that. But we never get any credit for that. No one ever respects us for that. Nobody respects us for that. Nobody even knows that happens. You come to here in Virginia, you go to Baltimore, right? The shipyards, everything like that. The East Coast would not function if it wasn't for the black industrial worker in America. Not the Mexicans, not the immigrants, but the African American.
Right.
Like we don't get any respect in this country, right? And we don't know how to flex our muscle, right? Because we don't want our own unions. We don't even want our own associations anymore, right? We don't want our association anymore. It just go along to get along and everything, and just everybody deal with it. It's like being in prison. Everybody's deal with their own misery among themselves when they don't talk, because it's like we black men don't communicate with each other, and we don't uplift each other. We don't say what's on your mind, brother. What's going on and everything. So we always want to put each other down and everything. And, I got this professional job. I got this. Instead of black men getting together and just fellowshipping, that's what I do with the BAO. We're just fellowshipping. Whatever whatever we fellowship, man. Just main thing is to be friends, man. My guys, when we have conference calls, they fuss me out, man. Colin, man, blah blah blah. But that's good. So long as we're communicating and everything, you could disagree with me, And that's what we need. We need that brotherhood again. We need brotherhood among black men in America. Before we go there. Let me ask you about experiencing Liberia. What's going on with that, man?
Oh man, it was a beautiful time, man. It was the first time that I went.
Where'd you go?
Spent 4.5 months there. We have a house over in Bonneville, Quebec. I'm over there in Bonneville, Quebec area over there. We do a little foundation called Bill Liberia Education Foundation. There's a bunch of people from the diaspora is over there. So we're on Pipeline Road over on Cookspoon Hill. And so that's where we're developing that. We're just doing some work over there. But just mainly just trying to get a little business, got a little a lumber yard and a little store in the community over there.
Check this out. I got a whole Liberia chapter of the BAO, right? We got people on the ground. It's connected with the government, everything like that. And we're about to launch something big this summer, and stuff like that. So are you a member of the BAIO, Black African Infrastructure?
Yes, I am. I connected with you a while back, but I haven't been on in a while.
Yeah. Just go in the Liberia chapter, connect with Ross. Talk to Ross. Okay. Yeah, talk to Ross. If you're in the Ning site, the website and everything, just talk to Ross. I thought I remember you. But yeah, like I said, the Liberia is going to be the biggest. I'm gonna tell you right now, people, you have no idea. It's tailor made for Black America.
Oh yes.
It's tailor made for Black America. It's like when you go there, what it feels like? It feels like going to the South in the 70s when you were a kid. Don't you feel like that?
Oh yeah.
Don't it give you that down south feeling?
With that red clay dirt. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. It's a beautiful country. It's tailor made for. No one's gonna tell you no. If you got something to do, nobody's gonna tell you no. Nobody's gonna tell you can't buy this. No one's gonna tell you can't have land. No one's gonna tell you no. And the bike right now, Liberia is winning. They did the right thing with that bicentennial. That was a lot of work we did over the years promoting Liberia. That's 10 years worth of work. It's changing the narrative, right? You're saying we're celebrating the coming of our people back home, and we're gonna build one nation. There's no tribe, there's no Bassa, there's no crew, there's no America, there's no Congo people and everything. all Liberians, all Africans. We welcome Africans all over the world. That's revolution right there. That's revolution. That's right there is a we're witnessing a revolution right now. What's going on in Liberia?
And that's the key. That's the whole key. So when I seen this thing with I'm not trying to change the subject, but with this whole thing that's coming up and trying to create this divide, it's like once again it's the same game. You know, hitting each other together, and they don't understand that it's power in numbers. No matter what, when you get in the lineup, they don't care. Unless you're wearing something that shows your African garb or they hear that accent, they're gonna look at you the same. You're gonna get treated the same. You know what I'm saying? There's no difference. No matter where you come from there, and they may come, and when they come over here to America and everything else, they take advantage of their opportunities.
They do.
But trust and believe, when they come over here, they get spoon-fed. Look, don't you try to connect with those that's already here.
Right.
Bring you them. You know what I'm saying? And you don't need that. You know what I'm saying? So, I know how the game goes, and a lot of people that's out there talking, they really don't know what they're doing with that. That is just doing us a disservice as a whole, all over the board as a whole, because we originated from Africa. No matter how you slice it, you know what I'm saying?
And also, we are not no Hebrew Israelites. We're not no Native Americans. We're not no anything like that. Our blood is in Africa, right? And when you go to Africa, you feel like this is where I belong. You know, I don't belong. I know circumstances. I gotta be in America for obvious circumstances. It's not there yet, you know. But one day it's going to be, we're building this for the next generation. The next generation is going to be able to go to Liberia and Sierra Leone, countries like that, and live easily. They're not going to be able to do like that. They could be able to go over there and get a job, open a business, and it'll be a transition. You know, it's like the Asians could transition from Singapore, Hong Kong, everything with ease and everything. The infrastructure is going to be in a place where you could transition to the African continent and live a middle-class, comfortable life, live whatever you want to live. And then the whole idea of racism, white supremacy, that's the thing in the past. Why? Because we take our destiny into our own hands. You know? So therefore, we're just like the Jews. I understood this, right? The Jews, they're like in Westchester County, New York, right? You got these rich Jews up there. You got kids got Porsches and everything like that, right? There's like, oh yeah, I'm selling everything. I'm selling my house and everything like that, right? They got a lot of money, right? I'm going to Israel. Why are you doing that? Why? Because they want to be in a Jewish, you know what I'm saying? Even though they're living in New York, they're living a good life in New York. Jewish people got a good life in upstate New York and stuff like that, right? It's and they'll come back to visit, right? But the bottom line is this: there's nothing like the fact that you have your own homeland. And the fact that Black people in America don't want that. That's another thing. You don't have a homeland, whether it's Liberia, whether it's Ghana, or Nigeria, whatever country you choose and everything. You don't have a place to call your own, right? You don't have a place to call it. You let them have the last laugh. You let them have the end game. The bottom line is with Africa, they don't have the last laugh. They're trying to. We got enemies right now who are trying to infiltrate us and put out bad things about the expat community and stuff like that. They're trying, but like you do it right. You ain't on YouTube with your stuff. You're just doing it quietly. The BAO people, we do everything quiet. You ain't gonna know what we're doing until it's done. You know?
Oh yeah. Seeing is believing. When you get it done, I learned that, man, because you got a lot of dream killers, man. Because when I first talked about it, I had to realize that you can put it out there. Well, what's the old saying? You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. So I just said to myself, and I was telling my wife, I said, you know what? You can't bring everybody along. You can't save everybody. But trust and believe. When it goes down, they're gonna wish they could have got on board when it was able to, and just like recently we was able to purchase some beachfront, man. You know what I'm saying? I was like, you know how hard it would be in America to acquire something.
I told this last year when I went to Liberia, right? I said, man, people offer me land, all beachfront property, prime, all the way from Maserati all the way down to Magribi. They're like, hey, you can buy this one. It's like unbelievable. You cannot do this any other place in the world where you can just buy beautiful beachfront property, for much nothing, And so I tell people all the time, I say, look, people don't know what they're missing out on. But somebody said, Carl be lying. I said, call in. We're all these big mouths that be talking stuff after the fact and whatnot. Call in. And call in if you think I'm lying about something or whatever, like that. Call in and tell me where I'm lying. Tell me where I'm lying.
So like guys, links in the chat room. We'll take one more caller, then we'll close out. Links in the chat room. We'll take one more caller, and then we'll close out. Experience Liberia, we appreciate you coming on, brother.
All right, thank you.
All right, no problem.
Thank you, brother.
All right,
Yeah,
so links
the bottom
links
line,
in the chat room. Links in the chat room. If you'd like to call in, click on that link. We'll take one more caller. Go ahead, caller.
yeah. So the main thing is in America, right? Getting back to the topic, right? In America, like the brother just said right there, he that was a testament, right? Didn't I put it out there? And his brother just get testified. It's like, man, I would be a good lawyer. You know, get somebody up here and get him on the witness stand. That was like a witness stand. Yeah, man, you work at a job and blah blah blah. You know that, and that is the truth. A lot of black men see that. You know, you work on these jobs, and everything. They're not going to promote you, or you even if you get promoted, they're going to double the workload. Like if you get promoted, you're going to do the job of 3 managers. You know, with half the resources. That's what we're dealing with in Black America. And people don't understand the psychological tolls taken. My father and grandfather, those were some strong ass black men. I don't think I could do what my father did. You know, my grandfather did. You know, those were some strong black men. And I have to consider myself strong, but damn, you know. So the bottom line is this: so we don't want to besmirch anybody and belittle people and accomplishments. We're just telling you like it is. It's like it is. We are absolutely responsible for what's going on in Black America because we choose to go over there. We have to free ourselves, right? We have to stop being scared, you know. Oh, a lot of talk. I just want to talk about Black America because we choose to go over there. We have to free ourselves, right? We got to stop being scared, you know. Oh, a lot of talk. I just want to talk about Black America because we choose to go over there. We have to free ourselves, right? Now, what is she doing? What is she doing? Dinos, you're muted.
I don't know.
These are people. She was like, "Oh yeah, we want to call in. You want to call in?" Okay.
Go ahead, Moochie.
Hey, Dennis, how are you doing, man?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Hey, brother, there's one thing, man, that bothers me a bit. There was a brother on the Experience Liberia, right? And he was talking about, they get told, I'm from Africa. I'm from Southern Africa, right? And I'll tell you this. We had students from the U.S., African Americans coming through. I mean, my family, we hosted some brothers that were like infantry guys, officers in Saudi, that were training Saudi guys. African Americans stayed at our house. I mean, professors from UMass and all that. African Americans. Where is this? Where does this come from? That Africans are told not to hang out with African Americans when they come here. I went to college here in the U.S. I never heard that before. Does that happen in some specific countries that they tell Africans not to hang out with African Americans?
No, but what it is, it's all propaganda. It's no different from, when the immigrants come here, they got loans. The banks give them loans. They got special loans for the immigrants when they get here. That's why they go to the gas station. The banks, Bank of America, they can go to Bank of America and get an immigrant loan. It's the same.
But it's so disappointing, right? Because I've worked in banking, I work in government now, and the thing is, when people come here, they get loans. No, to get a loan, you need to be credit worthy. You can't just get a loan if you don't have good credit, right? And then the thing that's disappointing, though, you had this brother who seems so positive, and he's doing stuff in Liberia, and no disrespect, but he's kind of propagating the same thing, saying, "Oh yeah, they get something to the effect that Africans get told not to hang with African Americans."
Well, let me answer that question. Right? Here's the problem, right? Here's the problem. Like in a nutshell, the narrative, the average African when it comes to America is not going to really interact with Black people, African Americans, stuff like that. When they say some African Americans, what they're talking about is being political. The Black people in America who are getting into trouble and stuff like that. You got Africans. Africans are not stupid. They come over here, and the bottom line is they quickly. I remember a few years ago I was driving Uber, right? These fine Nigerian sisters were in the car, right? And so I was saying to myself, man, maybe they don't want to hang around. I said, where do you guys want to go? She said, we want to go out to a club or the party, right? I said, well, it's called, and I said, the first thing they said was, what color are they? I can watch it. No, right? And all of a sudden, I said, well, there's this other place over here. Montego Bay. She's black. I said, yeah, Jamaican. Take us there, right? And so anyway, I took them there. Or this is back in 2015, whatever. I was driving Uber. And also, I took them there, and all of a sudden, they said, well, they get out, they get out of their car, freaking fine, mini skirts on, whatnot, just look good, right? They also had thin, tall, they were just fine, right? And also, they went to the door, right? All these brothers' heads turned, right? And also, they were like, all these brothers like this. And also, they were like, okay, you can go. They go, you can go. You can go. We're good. So the bottom line, that happens all the time, right? You bump into people all the time. In real life, right? Africans have no problem with African Americans. African Americans have no problem with Africans, right? It's stuff you hear on social media. Social media will have you think the African Americans sitting around, damn those Africans. They're like, we're not. It's not happening.
In color. Okay, in color. Even assuming that some Africans have problems with African Americans, right? Let's take that argument. Well, are there no African Americans that have problems with other African Americans?
That's what we say.
Just like there are Africans who have problems with other Africans. For example, right? Let me just say this: a lot of my friends have got graduate degrees, PhDs, and stuff like that. Well, they're not going to hang out with people maybe that are not progressive, or people that are rowdy, or people that are too loud. I mean, so it's just a matter of character, right? Like if it's like, I'll tell you something. For example, I used to go to a barber shop, right? Supporting, like African American barber shop, right? Good place. But with time, I got bored with all this throwing around with N-word, and and kids are coming through the barbershop and stuff. I ended up going to an African barbershop. It's not because I didn't want to support these African American brothers. They were good people, but I just didn't like the environment, right? But it's nothing to do. Even if they were Hispanic, I still wouldn't have continued going there. So
let me say this, brother. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of barbershops I don't go to. Right? Same thing. Like I said, I don't like being around toxic people. The same old stuff like that. After a while, once in a while, when the novelty rails off and whatnot, the barbershop in America is overrated. It is. It's really overrated. I would say tell anybody, go to like several different barbershops. Don't get too familiar, right? When people start familiarizing you and stuff like that, that's what keep it cordial, keep it on service. Talk about sports, everything like that, But sometimes when people come in, people do not separate between, okay, this is a business, right, and this is a pleasure. You'll say a lot, and that's a problem with a lot of African American businesses. People don't know that. Okay, this is a customer. This is my customer, a client coming in, right? Not my friend, my buddy, right? It's a flaw in African American culture. It's to the point where, let me give you an example. Dinos, what was that? Was that a restaurant down in Georgia where the ladies was saying, look, we treat our people with utmost respect to us? So someone I was reading, this black lady, she owned a restaurant in Georgia, in Atlanta. I think it was Atlanta. And she was like, yo, look, this is that. People are greeting the people. She made it a point of people greeting the people. It's not chucking and jiving. You act professional and everything like that. That part of Black America, right, is a character flaw in our culture, right? We don't know when to act professional. We act professional. Well, when it comes to white people, we act professional, right? When it comes to our own people, we want to shuck and jive, joke, and stuff like that, And somebody who's intelligent, that turns people off. There's a lot of black people who don't like going around black businesses and everything just for that reason. So it's not like no one will say you're African, you don't want to.
There's no hatred at all.
So people take that, right? See, Africans don't want to be around. No, it's not that. It's that him personally and shit like that. Then there's some Africans who are perfectly fine with all that, It has nothing to do with that he's African. It has nothing to do with African American. It's just that some people don't like that, some people don't. We basically look at ourselves as narrow prism, right? Narrow prism. For the most part, most Africans, when they come to America, right, they go to black institutions, right? To this day, they don't venture too far in America, right, without black people. It's like Africans are conscious, and you learn to be conscious, right? When you come to America about your race, you want to be around people that look like you. Okay, it's okay there, And once you see that, okay, it's people like you. You never see Africans go to West Virginia, the boondocks and sundown towns talking about, hey, I'm coming to America. It don't work like that. They know Africans talk all they want. They know where to stick around. The DMV area, Atlanta. They may be on the chat room. These African Americans, blah, 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 blah. but they know they go to areas where there's lots of African Americans. That's why they're in Prince George's County. That's why they're like. That's why I don't worry about anything, all this
and,
stuff like
and,
that.
and,
I know.
and just another thing, for example, I had a friend, right? And this friend wanted to act like how we could do back home. Some guy, like back home, how the police don't normally stop people if they're drinking and driving and stuff like that, right? And then he comes over here, he want to drink and drive and keep a cup in the car. Like, no, I'm not getting in your car and risking, being stopped. I mean, like, so this is a fellow African, right? But it's just like, okay, I'm not down with that behavior, so I'm not going to rock with you. It's nothing to do with. I mean, look, most of us we're very aware and conscious that African Americans paved the way for us to be here. You know what I mean? Even we go to college. Just even going to college, we know that you have a kind of advantage being a minority, right? And so we appreciate that. But you know what? The thing is, I'm not going to go around stopping every African American and say, "Hey, thank you. You're the reason why I got my MBA."
You got your MBA because you had the qualifications.
Hey, I had to qualify exactly,
and you did the work.
But that's what FBA ADOs want. That's what they want. They want
Africans.
When you graduate, you get your diploma. They would just say, "Thank you, Black Americans. Thank you."
Check this out. Listen, they call African immigrants and Black immigrants tethers, right? But the biggest tether is the so-called African American. The biggest tether. We're tethered to white infrastructure in white America right now. And everything like that. We the Oscars, right? Tell me that's the ultimate tether, right? You could create. We have our own Black media. We have a Pan-African Film Awards. We have all this stuff like that, right? Nobody attends them. Nobody attends them. The BET Movie Awards. We have all that stuff like that. We have all stuff like that. Nobody attends them. We tether ourselves to white America. The NFL, we don't look at the alternative Black sports league. No, we want to be tethered to white America on everything like this. The white man could move to Mars tomorrow. We'll tether ourselves up there. Like, you going to Mars? You ain't going nowhere without me. Black America has his head so far up white America's ass they can see out their necks. That's how far Black people have their head on white people's ass. So therefore, they want to basically now. They want to look at Black immigrants, right, who are coming over here, making it. Why? Because they believe in education, hard work, and not spending their money frivolously, and they live within their means for the most part. Black people in America, right, we take our money and we blow it on cars, everything like that, where Africans are saving their money. They're building families younger. So therefore, when you build a family, right, you got a husband and wife or husband and boyfriend and girlfriend living in the same house, right? That's money saved right there, right? And you got double the income and half the expenses, right? But right now we have a movement, right, in Black America where Black women want to do their own thing, and you got MGTOW, men want to go their own way, red pill, and all this kind of stupid stuff, right? And you got men growing into their 40s and 50s. You got women out there raising kids by themselves. He's paying child support, right, like that. But if they had a family, right, they had a family unit, right, all that money would be together, like the Black immigrants. That's why, and then when they're Black immigrants, they get together and their families and everything. They're having a good time and they're blasting everything. You got the one African American who's been invited. He feels some kind of way like, man, these people take him. No, we didn't value what we had. We used to have those things, families and stuff like that, right? But we became more modernized. We're victims of our own success, more modernized. We don't value the simple things like family.
And maybe one of my last things is this, Dinos. When you think about it, there's a lot of Latinos that they're coming from Colombia, from Ecuador, Venezuela, and America. You never hear all these other groups. You never hear them talking to each other disparagingly on the internet. It just makes us look like fools, like stupid. You know what I mean? I mean, the other races, if they listen to such conversations, they're just laughing on the sidelines, like, look at these fools, Like, you hear people, I'm not African. Fine, you know what? No African is forcing an African American to say, hey, you have to acknowledge your African roots. Nobody. It's not important. The thing is, those of us, at least, who feel a kinship, if we can work together, the more power to that. Because you look at the financing costs in the US, 1%, you're talking 100 basis points, 50 basis points. You go to Africa, you're talking about 15%, 10%. There's something, an arbitrage opportunity right there where people, African Americans, because they have money here, they could go link up with brothers and sisters in the continent, use the low cost financing from here, and build businesses and still repay the loans over here. But we're talking about, we are not Africans. We are
those people.
And some Africans speaking disparagingly of African Americans. That is not right.
Let me tell you something. Those people speak like that, right? And like I said, I did a sample survey. I go out and stuff like that. And I talk to black people. They never heard of FBA, ADOS, Aboriginal. They think it's stupid. They're like this. What it is that only dangerous is the uneducated African Americans, right? They'll look at somebody like Dane Calloway as a scholar, not knowing that he's a former rapper buffoon. He's not educated. He probably didn't graduate past 9th grade, right? And so therefore, what happens is this: when they see shows like this and they hear me speak, and they're like, "Oh, okay, that puts it in perspective. I better put that. I'm gonna look like a fool." See, so black African Americans are very easily led.
And unfortunately, you know what, Kyla, you speak logically, right? But unfortunately, the buffoons have the megaphones.
Yeah, they do.
And they
got the loudest voices and everything like that.
A show like Dinos, this show, that's why should have been thousands of people tuning in, but they want to tune into the crap and the nonsense, the bottom feed,
the bottom feed. Check this out. The lie travels around the world 5 times before the truth gets out of bed and puts his slippers on. But by the time the truth gets out of bed and gets the slippers, the lie is out traveling around the world like 5 times. That's why people put out lies. Like this unapologetically Negro-Pean dude, he puts out lies. Yeah, people out lies. Yeah, people lie. We had a guy last night talk about we're the original Dutch. On the show. You're black ass Dutch now. There is no end to this stuff. Like you can tell lies. You tell lies, people will suck it up. You had a black sister last night called Empress, whatever her name is, right? Black is an ace of spades. Talking about she ain't black. This is insane. This is insanity.
Yeah.
Negroes. Like I have a PhD in Negroology. The Negro will do anything to get out of responsibility. And his responsibility, first thing, is self-preservation. Preserve yourself, who you are. You're a black man, your African roots. Your ancestors came from the transatlantic slave trade. That's who you are, That's your first responsibility. If you don't accept that, there's nothing else going to work out for you.
Yeah, but you know what? Good thing is I think there's enough of us, I think, who acknowledge that linkage, that, hey, we are the same people.
Keep supporting Dinos Amir. I want people to hit that that super chat. Get some money into this brother right here. We're giving you good information, everything. You got to feel like that. Sure. Everybody do a super chat. Everybody do something. Hit the like button.
It's important information.
Sure. Support this brother.
And let those commercials run. Let the commercials run. All right.
Check this out. Somebody named Reason Time said DNA. Okay. She said doesn't lie. Right. She's right. I thought she said DNA's lie. Because some people say DNA's lying to them. Maury Povich. You are not the father. Yes. But the same motherfucker you're talking about, he's a Indian and DNA's alive. But when you're on Maury Povich trying to get out of child support, suddenly he's a believer in DNA, man. I got a PhD in Negroology, I've been studying the Negro all my life,
Okay. My last question to both of you. What do you think about the use of the N-word?
I'm like this. This is the way I say it. This is what I say, right? I want to use that in front of white people, right? Now I won't use that really on camera, whatever. And I don't think it's music, right? But sometimes, and unless you're with like me, I say it to me, my brother would say it to each other, right? We say Negro, nigga. If a black man I don't know, right? If I don't know you, I'm not gonna use that word with you.
I'll confess, I've never used that word myself. I've never used the word myself. Yeah, but well. Okay.
I said I don't use that word like that. Say some people say nigga, yo, my nigga, like that. It's like as a term of endearment and stuff, as a term of endearment, right? And so therefore, we're just playing ball, hey, money. But you gotta have a relation with somebody. I don't just go up to any. I don't know you, right? I don't know you like that, right? I'm not gonna call you nigga. And if I know if I have a professional relationship with somebody, right? I damn sure don't use that word. Now, you ever see the movie Lean on Me?
No.
Go back and see Lean on Me, right? 1989, Morgan Freeman, Robert Guillaume, the best black actor that ever lived. Robert Guillaume, love him, man.
Okay.
We need more. I wish we had a Lean on Me about the Joe Clark principle. Right?
You think it's on Netflix?
It's everywhere. You can get on YouTube. You know.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, I'll check it out. I'll check it
for
out
like
for sure.
$5. You know.
Oh,
And
check
then
it out.
Joe Park said, he goes, "This is only me, the HNIC." Also, HNIC mean head nigga in charge, right? And he's school principal, right? And then also in one part, Robert Guillaume said to him, "Look, nigga, would you be quiet, right?" And they're two educators, right? They're two educated niggas. Would you be quiet? But that's how black people talk to each other, right?
Yeah.
And then in one part when he goes, you better get used to it. That's the way of the world. Because contrary to popular belief, I'm the head nigga in charge or whatnot. And now basically, when I saw that in the movies, like that's the first time we ever saw educated black people, right, being portrayed using, they were getting down. Look, nigga, these guys have master's degrees, school administrators, everything, and they were like, yo, nigga, you know what I'm saying? So therefore, it depends on the kind. You got to understand African American culture, you know.
Yeah.
You got to understand something about. That's the thing about African American culture. Like I would go to South Africa. There's certain things that I would not say. I know you guys don't say "El Makafa," whatever. I know you guys don't do that, you know.
Yeah.
But
the funny thing is, the Boers used to call black South Africans kafa, but it's just different. People never own that. They think it shouldn't be used. But you know what, Callum? I have two connections with Liberia. So after high school, my first girlfriend was from Liberia, Monrovia, and then my brother was an attorney with the United Nations doing the resettlement program in Monrovia, in Geneva. So yeah. But I have never visited. Anyway, thanks, guys. I just wanted to call and just say, hey, this is all manufactured, friction and all that. No, if you have the same ilk, and you kind of think the same way and things like that. Like you just said, if the white person was looking at me and you two guys, they wouldn't see much of a difference. They're just looking at a black person. You know what I mean? When you talk, then okay, that's an African American, that's an African, but essentially, I think
they don't really give a shit. They don't. And
exactly.
A lot of Africa, this Haitian walking around on TikTok talking about, yo, he said as soon as the police knew he was Haitian. There are a lot of people in that delusion too. They forget that Delima Diablo that were blown away by the police and whatnot.
Amadou Diallo, yes.
Amadou Diallo that got a pipe stuck up his ass was Haitian and whatnot. The bottom line, don't.
He was Senegalese.
Oluima was Haitian. Diallo.
No. Amadou Diallo in New York was Senegalese, right? The guy who got shots 20 times or something, right?
But there was another guy called Louima.
Oh, Louima. Okay.
He was Haitian, right?
Haitian. Okay.
And so the bottom line, and down in Florida, Haitians get killed all the time by the police. And New York City too, man. They're always what it is a lot of Haitians when they come to America, right? Back in the day, we know as African Americans don't go to in Brooklyn, right? When you travel on a train to Brooklyn, right? You go as far as Coney Island, right? You don't go past Coney Island because overnight it changes from like black Latinos running around everything to white, right? And something bad can happen to you, in that part of it. We know that. But a lot of people coming to America, they're like, they don't understand that, right? And they're going into cafes and places like Staten Island where there's a lot of Italians and white boy gangs, Irish and whatnot, and they end up getting killed and whatnot. Most of the people got killed by whites in New York were always black.
You see like what happened with that brother from Jamaica that just got killed in Ohio. Going on it. What kind of sense? I'm sorry, it's so sad that he lost his life. But why are you going out on a hunting trip with some this Caucasian? I would never do that. I've always worked with in every I've only a couple of black people where I work at, but you know what? When they say let's go hunting or let's go to the whatever gun range and all that, I'm like I'm good because you never know what will happen. And
there's always time. You ever see? There's a case that happened in Florida or Texas, whatever, where a black guy went on a boating trip with some white people and whatnot, and he ended up dead, right? And all of a sudden, nobody talking. And all of a sudden, a black woman in Georgia, Alabama, one of them, had adult sleepover with some white women and whatnot. You're muted, Dice.
All right, okay. Hey, thanks, Dan.
Yeah, my bad. That was here in Georgia. All right,
thanks a lot. Thanks, guys. We're talking to you guys. All right.
Okay, so that was basically like that. So when you don't know the thing, or you don't have a conscience and everything, the black people who are conscious will survive, And the black people who don't do that, America's like, no, for a fact this country is dangerous. You know, as far as black, to this day, it's dangerous. Dangerous for black men to date white women in America. You know, I don't know how they do it. Whatever like that, it's still dangerous to see an interracial couple and everything like that. You still got rednecks and killers that'll kill you for that shit. You know, there's a brother was white guys shooting a FedEx driver in Mississippi a couple weeks ago.
I read about that. But yeah, we're going to close out, Colin. Anything else?
Nobody else? Nobody else? I mean,
no. We're closing out.
All right, man. Thanks a lot, everybody. My shows tonight on DeVille Radio, www.devilleradio.com, the Colin Nation Show. And if you want to be connected with the College Genesis in Liberia and what we're doing and stuff like that, join our social network. Download the app. It's very easy. Go to download BAIO Global Pipeline on your App Store or Play Store, and you can basically sign up for the social network and register and everything like that and be part of the network, because I don't do YouTube and I don't do anything else on Facebook and everything like that. We have a social network where people are connected. You want to get to the chase and everything right here on YouTube. Got everybody out there doing this stupid stuff and everything like that. But we got people on the ground in Liberia. A guy called in tonight, man. People buying properties. They're doing everything on stuff like that. Private sector stuff like that that's going on in Liberia and Sierra Leone and Ghana, and then whatever country you choose, we got representation. So if you want to join us and whatnot, we'll gladly take you. Gladly have you.
Yes, sir. Everyone, thank you so much for joining. Make sure you check out Colin's show tonight on Gangstaville Radio. Until next time, family, Dinos, search for Huru. Peace.